The Morning Edge is our morning show that we do every Monday through Friday, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. It's part of your Best of US subscription. This is a great place. One, we review charts, swing trading, along with long-term. We review the macro. And then we open it up to questions, ideas, and discussions. And this outtake is about Palantir. And one of our subscribers brings to the table what Palantir is about, why he believes in it so much, and we review the charts and we start talking about strategy. Check it out.
That's a sizable move. Higher, you're outside the Bollinger Bands again. From my perspective, I look at this and I go, at least maybe 30 to 50% retracement on that to come down to some level of support, because the money has been made by the institutions on this way up. And this is not retail investors. This is institutions coming in. They see the opportunity because of data center development, and they accumulate by it pulls back. They take profits from as driving that dip down, and then they move higher. But now you're well outside of that Bollinger Band. I think you said 5% of the time it continues.
No, 5% of the time it trades outside there. Only 95% of the time it trades within a Bollinger Band.
Okay, so the probability of that continuing is unlikely. So if you're in this, and we talked about this a month ago, and thank you, I think it was Brian for bringing this up, that I mentioned this over a month ago or so, that you've made money in this. So take it. Somebody made the comment, I overheard somebody say something to the effect they made 10% in a week on a stock. That's a gift.
I was talking to James yesterday. He made 10% in a day.
In a day.
Yeah.
That's a gift. You take profits. And to think that kind of extensive move is going to continue forever is just not likely. And so just be risk managed around these moves. And Caterpillar is a prime example. Yes, it's relevant because of what it's doing in the data center market. Yes, they got orders for all their stuff, but the stock will retrace at some level. So preserve those profits and look for a better opportunity to enter something like that. I mean, that there is a heavy extension.
This is deer here. Look at deer.
Yeah.
And look at the pattern here. They're going up, down. They're going up, down.
I mean, that's
up.
That's almost
down. This is a big up.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind, because like Palantir, in my opinion, it's part of that whole Mag 7 aspect. Yep. We've had the pump for the last 2-3 years in it. Now you've got money coming, that's saying, hey, I want to return on my investment. I want to see the economics really work out in my benefit. And I think that's why you're seeing that downturn. Well, and to me, it's a $100 stock,
Trent,
and so go ahead.
That's where this is different than, let's say, Microsoft, because Palantir, more than any other company I know of right now, is getting the ROI. And, so when their rule of 40 is like 120, so they got expanding margins. Their current customers forget churn, they're at 130%. So someone invested $1 million last year, they're investing, and it's not $1 million, it's more like $5 million. They're investing 30% more this year. And the ability for those companies, once they're involved with Palantir, to move away is like nil. So on a fundamental basis, that's why I like Palantir. I don't like their PE ratio, but when I see the stock get clipped like this, I'm saying, okay, time to maybe pay attention. I'm hoping, I hope it comes down a little bit more. That's great.
I honestly, from a
I think
I'll
it will
buy
be.
more.
From what the stock does, what the company does is relevant.
Right.
It's part of the future, right? Remember about stock market. It works on ones and zeros, price, volume, volatility. That's how it trades. 30, 40 years ago, it was all fundamentals. When my grandfather started investing, all on fundamentals. Today, because of the internet, because of data, because of high-speed trading, now you're working on price, volume, and volatility. And then when I look at something like this, company fundamentally, from the standpoint of what it does and the service it provides, very relevant, A plus. But when I look at it from a price, volatility, and point of view, a numbers point of view, $100 is a good 72 would be great.
Oh yeah.
So, so keep that in mind because you're dealing in two different. A fundamental world is one thing. The world we live in on a day to day is ones and zeros. So keep that in mind as you're building or
Mhm.
buying positions overall.
Hey,
A
Trent.
lot of
If you
these,
live in Michael, if you
a
live
lot
in the
of these,
Michael Berry world, it should be $50 a share for what he says.
Well, and
well, a
he
lot of
may,
these,
Michael Berry's not dumb. He's very intelligent human being, but that is one person's opinion.
Oh,
And if you're going to
absolutely.
base your whole investment thesis on one guy,
Right.
don't.
I agree with you.
Don't.
Just So, no,
He's just in the news.
I was just responding back. You were sharing 100. Just
Yeah.
factually speaking, Barry just said 50, so I was just adding that into the conversation. No,
Yeah, thank you.
more, no less than anything else from that.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate
I,
it.
I almost think that Barry's doing something like, you run off of a dock and you catch something that a friend throws to you, but unfortunately they've thrown you a 50-pound rock.
Right.
And that takes everybody else who listens to it. It scares them. Therefore, the people that really have money make money off of everybody else being scared.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Palantir, there's been a lot of, well, my understanding is that there's they built softwares to skim all of our information also. And there seems to be a lot of pushback from retail on them right now. And I believe that that's part of the reason why you're seeing their stock dropping because there there's a trend out there happening where they're taking our data and they're giving it to the government. So now
You
is that
think that's something new? You don't
No.
think that's been
listen,
going on for
I know that,
decades?
okay, Don, I know that Meta does it, Google does it, everybody does it.
That,
But at the end of the day, what type of data are they taking from
well,
us?
first of all, that's not
Okay.
that's kind of the noise, not the substance. Where they started
Listen,
was
I'm not against Palantir. Just so you understand, I'm not against. Actually, I made a lot of money in Palantir. I'm not
right.
in it today, but I made a lot of money in it. But yes, their PE is very high. I'm for them, but I'm just putting out there what's being said. Now, when you get
But
onto
that's
Meta, you
noise.
get
I'll
onto
tell you.
Google, you get onto all these other channels, you agree to their terms. This is
Right.
information they're taking that you don't agree to.
Let me tell you, all our computers, like Microsoft, is probably the worst right
Listen,
now.
okay, you don't have to tell me I know all about it, but I'm just telling you what's out
Right.
there. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah, but look at their core business. Let's talk about the stocks. Okay. Their core business started as defense and intelligence. Okay. The world has not gotten less dangerous, it's getting more dangerous. Um, Alex Karp he's got a very good mission statements to protect the West. He's not confused. He knows exactly where to drive this company. And for a while, he was absolutely running against the grain. Now people have not just the United States, but our European allies are like, we need this, right? Just was it yesterday, 2 days ago? Just as an example, and I thought right away, Palantir is going to be, the government's going to say, hey, Palantir, how could you help us out with this? At El Paso, that airport was closed down for theoretically for 10 days because Mexican cartels with $3,000 drones flew over the border, right? And it created a threat, right? In Mexico, they're bombing each other with these drones, just like you see in Ukraine, right? Now they're just flew over the border, right? So what saved, 10 days, everybody was grounded. If you landed there, that's where you were staying. And then the Pentagon, XF went to work and they shot down those effing drones. In a matter of hours. Do you not think that they're now just going to Palantir and saying, let's get something going on that we could predict this in advance? Because think how that would cripple our economy. That was their core business. Now they've moved over to things like insurance companies, right? And what's really growing is their commercial business. And once you see it, keep in mind, this is a company that has no salespeople, and they're growing like this. Yeah. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. They bring in engineers, right, from those prospect companies and say, bring your data over to a 1-week boot camp, and you decide. Those engineers go back to their companies and say, we need this. We absolutely need this.
It's
so
what they're doing.
They're not going to go away. They're only going to keep on increasing. What I'm looking for, and this is just one company we're talking about. I hope their stock drops. I hope Michael Burry talks it down. Then I'm going to back up the truck.
I don't think it's just all Michael Burry, Don. I think it's the age we live in on valuations and how much you're going to pay for valuations, especially with AI spending all this money. I look at a chart like this weekly chart. And again, I'm technical, Don, so you may get your choice. Yeah. This is called a head and shoulders pattern. See that here?
Yeah. Okay.
Head and shoulders. Now, that's a technical bearish pattern. And if you break through this neckline right here, the pattern says you go to the top and to where the neckline is, and where you break out, this is where you potentially could go, which would give us 98.81, which if you look back here is a nice level of support and resistance. So that's how it works for me. These patterns work. I'm not saying it's going down there, but technically speaking, there's a high probability, over 50%, that this chart will play out. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals. It could be the greatest company in the world, but they get caught up in things like valuations. And if the market starts saying, look, Google, Microsoft, all these guys are way overvalued because of what they're now spending on AI, that falls over into Palantir. And people have, Palantir's at, PE of what, 200, at 1,850, whatever it is. And so that's what happens.
Down now, but it's not, it was up there, and that was too expensive.
But I mean, this is how I look at it. And I'm not saying you're wrong on anything you say about Palantir. I'm sure that it's all correct, and and everything that they're in and what you look at is great. And I used to be that way. I used to be that guy. I love these companies. I'm like, why is the price still going down?
Yeah.
And then I learned about technical analysis. I'm like, okay, now I see, because when price starts going down, you start hitting these levels of support and resistance. The algorithms that trades the majority of our shares, they have the same information. When they hit that, they hit sell. To this point, then they hit buy. And if it goes below, they hit sell. They don't care that Palantir is the best company in the world or not. That's how I look at it, Don. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying there's a probability that Palantir could go down further. That's all I'm saying.
Don, you may get your best price even yet on this.
Well, that's what I'm listening. You're right. Because look, if it goes down to that price, go across back to the left. What happened when it last hit that price?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, I'm not all in with every dollar. I'm going in little by little. I'm watching it, and it's not just Palantir. I agree with all that's been said here. I do believe you do need fundamentals. I never believe in buying a company it's not making a lot of money. Right. I don't care what their chart says. But the chart analysis, the technical analysis is valuable, because you're right. There's emotion and there's automated selling.
Yeah, definitely.
Happening in microseconds.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean when we talked about it, that's why I said I'm not sure I'd be buying yet, and if it gets below that, I might short because I see this potential. Okay, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just going off what the probabilities of technical analysis tells me, without even looking at what you know about Palantir. I just look at what the logarithms look at, and how they sell and buy. But
What is the because you're an expert in this. So what is the
uh,
probability percentage wise that it would make a drop like that?
it's over 50% for sure. It's probably in this 60 to 70% range that's gonna. And this is a
Really?
weekly chart. Remember, this is a weekly chart, not a daily chart. Okay, so I'm just looking at the weekly. But you've had some pretty good downs on the weekly because you've had all, like Trent said, look at this. This is awesome. Okay, and then we had this topping tail on earnings, and then it tried to come back up and right to where that the head and shoulders is again, and then down it went. And so if it breaks this level, Don, I'm looking at it going down, to another level down in this area, and then down further. And this is where typically on a head and shoulders you see it come back up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to piece it all together. I'm not
So
saying
greater
it's right
than
or wrong.
50% chance then. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
we gotta wrap it up here. This has been an energetic
Yes, it has. You
meeting
guys,
for
what a
sure.
great conversation.
Oh, Bill, you need